What's up, everybody? Yeah, welcome to the Mike Dolce Show. Today we're going to recap UFC 246 briefly. We're going to talk about Conor McGregor's 42nd TKO of Donald Cerrone. And it was a great performance. If you saw the fight, many of you saw the fight, you saw the memes and the GIFs of the fight, but my issue is not with Conor's performance. I think Conor did a great job. My issue is with how the media is now propping up the narrative of Conor McGregor being the world's greatest fighter. Before we get any further, let me be clear. I am a Conor McGregor fan. I've been a fan of his since day one. I met Conor back when he fought Max Holloway in Boston? Is that where that fight was? Let me go back and take a look at that real quick so I can remember exactly when that fight was. I think it was Holloway in Boston. Either way. We were in Boston. I forget who I was with. I was with an athlete on that card. And man, Conor was the coolest, nicest, most respectful athlete there. He was hyped up, ready to go. This is before he was Money Mac. This is back when he was making tens of thousands of dollars per fight, not millions of dollars, tens of millions. So back in that day, I was a fan. I was a fan of his style. I remain to this day to be a fan of Conor McGregor's fighting ability. What my issue is, and I don't blame Conor for this at all, but it's the media that I'm talking about. I blame the media, the fickle media, in how every headline is about Conor McGregor. Every headline is talking about Conor McGregor fighting Usman for the 70-pound title, rematching Khabib for the 55-pound title, possibly fighting, any and every top name, Jorge Masvidal for the BMF title. Every article, and again, I got daughters at home this morning. My daughters, I'm looking at those watching on the YouTube stream. You can see my daughters. Actually, my youngest daughter, my 3-year-old, wanted to paint daddy's fingernails this morning, and I thought it was water paint that I just wash off. And my wife tells me, oh no, that's actually real nail polish. So after this podcast, I got to go to the pharmacy and I got to get whatever juice the ladies use to clear off nail polish. But I digress. That's a daddy moment. And when your little girl wants to do something, well, damn it, daddies out there, you get it done. You know what I'm talking about. That being said, back to Conor. My issue is how the media is propping Conor up. Conor did fucking awesome, by the way. He looked amazing. In the 40 seconds that we saw of him, he looked great. But if you go back to my last podcast, 2 podcasts ago, where I preview the fight between Conor and Cerrone, I say, listen, this fight's going to go one of 2 ways. Conor's going to come out there and starch Donald early. He's going to come out of the gate. He's going to jump on Cerrone. And Cerrone is a terrible first-round fighter. Cerrone is the first one to say that. He's an extremely slow starter. Cerrone gets better as the fight goes on. Conor's power is some of the best. Conor has knockout power at 170 pounds, at 155, at 145. Conor has that gift, that one-shot knockout power. Cerrone's chin has shown to be a little suspect over the last half a decade or so. Cerrone's had some serious problems and has been put down multiple times. He's been TKO'd, in fact, in his last 3 fights, and that's a point that I want to get to. So Conor looked great, and I said the best thing for Conor is he comes out there, he finishes Cerrone quick. He finishes Cerrone early in the first round, so nobody gets to see how good Conor is. Nobody gets to see if Conor has improved his grappling. Nobody gets to see if Conor has improved his gas tank. Where Conor struggles is midway through the second round, into the third round, he slows down. There's some sort of anomaly with Conor McGregor's preparation. I believe it's his nutrition. I believe he's not being adequately fueled to compete for 15 or 25 minutes, and you see his body start to slow down and shut down earlier in the fights, much earlier than many of the other athletes at the top level. Guys like Khabib, guys like Tony Ferguson, even guys like Donald Cerrone, who do a great job. We can go to 170 and we can look at Jorge Masvidal or a Nate Diaz. We can look at Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. I mean, these are some heavy hitters in their own right at the top of the weight class. So I said, if Conor's able to go out there, get the win early, best thing ever for him, then he can basically write his ticket on the next fight that he wants. It was a good stylistic matchup for Conor to choose Donald Cerrone, and don't for a second think that it wasn't intentional. Conor McGregor chose Donald Cerrone because he knows Cerrone is a slow starter. He knows Cerrone has been finished multiple times now. And Cerrone was coming off of 2 TKO losses going into this fight with Conor McGregor. So, Conor's performance, as good as it was,